Good, thanks. And you?
No, yeah, also doing well. Got some challenges at work, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it will sort itself out eventually.
I hope it will. I hope it will. You are in good company when it comes to challenges at work. It's so nice to speak to you in a little bit of a different way. And I'm excited because, well, firstly, I'm stressed because we only have 30 minutes, 40. Zoom is back to their
40,
strict
40.
rules now. But I'm excited because, in the past few months that I've gotten to know you, it's always been like something about something, that we need to talk about. And I'm looking forward to getting to know a bit more about you.
Yeah, and also we haven't actually spent a lot of time together like this. It's always been in the group and with everyone. So
yeah, exactly. So I wanted to know, I mean, the first time I got to know you was when I saw you singing a duet with your sister. And I listened to the two of you, and I thought, okay, siblings' voices blend, all those thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts that when I listen to
yeah.
And but when I really got to know your voice and you sang a couple of solos at an event that Marvin's annual thing
Yes.
that he has.
Yes.
And so I got to hear your voice alone, and something just switched inside me. I don't know what it was. And I told myself, I'm going to speak to this girl afterwards. And so that's how we got talking. And I told you,
Yes.
I'd love to work with you on a project. And I didn't even know what the project would be. At that stage, I didn't have a clue, but I knew it would come to me. And it did. But so that's how I got to know who you are. But who is Madelyn?
I'm the oldest of two. It's just my sister and I.
Okay.
And I'm married, obviously. I don't have any kids. I'm a lawyer. And I also teach part-time at Heidelberg College. The business students, I teach them their legal modules that they need to do.
Okay.
And I'm really finding that I've been doing that for 6 years now. And it's so fulfilling, I must say. I've actually started wondering if I missed my calling. Should I have been a teacher, maybe? Yeah, and then music obviously is just what keeps me sane, what keeps me going. I actually thought, initially when I was picking a career path, that this was the thing I wanted to do. I said to my mom, I'm going to study music. And then my mom said to me, and then how are you going to earn a living from music,
Age-old story.
Yeah, and then all my dreams were shattered. No, it's not that bad. But anyway, and actually I think that the Lord protected me in a way, because now music gets to be the thing I love, my hobby, the thing I get to come to when things are not going well. It's now not the thing that I need to earn a living from. It's actually something I can use as to escape, whenever I've had a difficult day. Sometimes I leave the office and I'm like, oh man, I don't know. And then I have a voice lesson, and by the time I get home, it's just all of that has just been lifted. So it's a wonderful place for me to escape to,
So you mentioned something, you mentioned a voice lesson. So I wanted to ask you about that, because I identify with it too. I started in music before I was formally trained. So I started singing, and when I started playing the piano, my mom got me a piano teacher, Karen Pearson. And we were a whole lot of kids that all went to Karen for piano lessons. And pretty soon she said to my mom, she thinks I need to, take more formal training. And that's when my relationship with it started. And then, of course, I went to Heidelberg, which I saw Heidelberg High School as an awesome opportunity, because
Yeah.
Mrs. Dunbar, Dr. Dunbar, was there. And so my mom said, "You're not going to get a better music teacher than that." What has been
Yes. Yes.
your relationship with formal music training?
So I grew up in a very musical family. Both my parents actually play instruments, um, but neither one of them were. They had a little bit of formal training, but not extensive formal training. And so my mom was really the one who really wanted me to start taking piano lessons. And so she started teaching me a little bit. And then they bought me a melodic, what do you call those things? A melodica, like it looks like a tiny piano and then you blow into
Yes,
it
yes,
and you
yes,
play it
yes.
like holding it. Yeah, yeah. So, and that's how I started. And then picked it up really quickly. And so my mom said, no, we need
Mm.
to get this child some formal training. So then I started piano lessons when I was 8. And and then immediately sort of really took to it. And then I started the UNISA training. And for me, as an 8-year-old, I didn't really grasp the intensity of it actually. And then when I played my first exam, and I remember I have a very good memory for music as well. So I play by ear and so on. And I remember not taking a book into the exam room. I had everything memorized. And the
Wow.
examiner said to me, "But where's your book?" And I said, "But I don't play from the book. It's all in my head."
Wow.
And when the results came, I'd actually managed to get a distinction on my first piano exam. And again, as an 8-year-old, I didn't realize what it meant. So when my mom picked me up from school and I said to her, I didn't have the report card yet, but I said to her, I got 85% for my piano. She wouldn't believe me. She got, she said, "What? Are you serious?" She actually got out, went to the music teacher, and then she gave my mom the report card. And from there on, it was like the bug had then bit me. And then I
Mm.
actually started and really started to play on the piano, not just my like work music, but I started developing my ear and really started enjoying engaging with music and so on. And then obviously with the formal training of the piano came the theory and all of that.
Mm.
And then when I went to high school, and I always really, really wanted to play the violin, but there wasn't. I grew up in Mossel Bay, and there was no violin teacher there. So
Oh.
when I went to high school, in the high school was a teacher who taught the flute. So then I started taking flute lessons and also formal, training up until I think I went up until grade 6, and then I was in matric. And then when I was in matric, a violin teacher had moved to Mossel Bay, and so then I started taking violin lessons. But I think it was just not a good year, because I was very also academically focused, so it wasn't a good year to start learning a
Yes.
new
Yeah.
instrument, especially the violin, which is so intuitive, like
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
And so I just didn't have the time to do that well. And then at the end of the year, I went to Abundant Life, and so then I had to stop that training. So I never really got far with the violin, although it's always been a sort of a dream to be able to play the violin. That I think I've like let go of that. And then I came to Stellenbosch to study law, and so at that point I had to still play. I had to still do the grade 8. So I've now finished with grade 7 piano, and I really, really wanted to finish grade 8. So then I went to Helderberg College. My dad said, "Look, there's only one place to go, and that's Helderberg College." So we went there. Yanni Kritzinger was the teacher, and I enrolled and then did my grade 6 theory and grade 8 piano with him.
Uh-huh.
And in that year, I got really sick. I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, which is a chronic disease in your intestines, where
Wow.
my immune system actually sees my intestines as foreign subjects, and so it's constantly trying to attack my intestine from the inside. So at any given time, my intestines are inflamed and with ulcers and things like that. it's very much under control at the moment. I must say the Lord has been very faithful and good to me
Amen
in
to
that
that.
I've learned to control it with diet and so on. But obviously stress makes it a lot worse. And so
Yeah.
at that time, I couldn't get myself into that grade 8 exam. So, and then Yanni said to me, because I also joined the choir, then Yanni said to me, but why don't you start voice training? You'll be starting at grade 1. You're already musically inclined. You have an ear. You're already singing. Why don't we just formally start training your voice? It will be much less stress. But because I went and spoke to him, I said, I'm not ready to leave music behind, you know. And I actually think it helps me, but I can't play this exam. I'm just not, I'm too sick, you know. I just didn't at that time. I think it was also an emotional thing, because at this time, you know, I was a second year law student, very involved in church. I just had too much hay on my fork. You know, I'm a person that's always involved, and I just, as a 21-year-old, I had a lot to deal with. Now dealing with the idea of this chronic illness that is hereditary, that, you know, it was a very difficult time for me. So I started voice training actually at the age of 21. So I actually started quite late, but I think because I already had a lot of musical training behind me, all the theory was done, everything, you know, and my dad was also, he used to sing as well. He was never formally trained, but he enjoyed singing. So we always, from a young age, my sister and I started singing with him, performing with him. So yeah, and it just seemed like a very good fit, and I really enjoyed it, and my voice took to it beautifully, I think. And so yeah, it's an excellent way of expressing myself, and to this day I still go for 1 hour lesson a week. Yeah.
Wow, that's just incredible. So your journey with music and formal music training is so interesting, because I mean, I resonate with a lot of it. A lot of it happened the other way around for me, and so on. But it's nice to hear that somebody, you know, to speak to somebody that relates to formal music training too. You know,
Yes,
not just
yes,
the
yes,
natural
yes.
ability, but actually backing it up. You know, with
Mm.
learning the science of music. So combining what you feel as the
Yes.
art with the science of music, because I believe music is both. For instance, I mean, I started doing music exams in high school, and I was at grade 8 singing level. I didn't do my matric final singing exam.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that is another story that you'll hear one day. There's a reason for it, but I did grade 8 piano exam when I was in matric, and grade 6 theory. And that grade 6 theory exam is not funny. You know, I was in the same
No.
Velma Jean Campbell and I did music together in high school, and we both looked at each other with that grade 6. Yeah, the harmony exam
No, it
wasn't too
was,
bad,
yeah.
but the theory, oh my word. Anyway, um, so I think it's great that you can see music as something that adds to your life, you know, that makes your life better, you know. And you've already answered the question about, I was going to ask you about why you didn't go into music as a career.
And I was so blessed
Mm,
with a husband who understands that and let
mm,
me be that when I need to
mm.
be, but when I need support, then he also knows how to support
Oh,
me.
mm,
I believe that our deeds should prove us, not
yes,
what we say. So yeah.
yes. Yes, so sometimes arguing about these things is actually just an exercise in futility, because all you do is create more barriers, whereas just handle
Exactly.
yourself with dignity and do what needs to be done, and that will speak. You
Yeah.
know, I like that. I really
Yes.
like that. So you're a lawyer, a good one, it would seem. Um, and and you play the piano, you play the flute, you sing. How did you end up making a piano album a couple of months ago?
So it actually just started as a very personal project because two of my very close friends had they were pregnant and they were 6 weeks apart. And I said to Eric, you know what, I want to my idea was just to record some good music that these babies can they can listen to in the car or maybe at bedtime or bath time or just something that Auntie Madelyn did, you know.
Oh,
And I never actually I never envisaged what came out. You know, I thought I'll record Jesus Loves Me and maybe Fishing for Jesus, like, you know, like one or two songs I'll record.
yeah.
And then Corona hit
Mm.
and church closed, and they needed some music for our online services. So they approached me with, because they made an intro, and they approached me and they said, well, they're looking for theme music to be an
Mm.
introduction to our. And so I said, okay, well, let me sit down. And then that's the first track on the album
Ah,
is that one I
okay. So
actually
we'll be
recorded.
sure to note
Yes,
that.
yes, for Silverleaf as the introduction. And then I thought, well, I mean, I've got it, why not? And then the idea of, well, why not make a longer tracked album, or sort of record some more? I can put that on there. I've got it now. I mean, I made it, so it's mine. I might as
Mm.
well just add it to the kiddies album. and and then with lockdown, obviously I had a little bit more time, and so I just and then my husband started researching. He's like, but since we're putting it together and the quality is quite good, why don't we look at, because my idea was literally to write it on a disc and give it to each one of my friends and my mom, and that would be it. And then Eric said that, but music is moving into a digital space, and you know,
It
like,
is.
why not? Because then he was saying to me, but I don't actually think that Leroy, this is now one of our friends, I don't think they even have a CD player. So then I had to think, okay, so how I'm going to give it to them, how they're going to access it, you know? And so Eric was saying, okay, let's research and see how we can do it. And yeah, and then I'm very fortunate that my sister is a graphic designer, so she was happy to design the cover. And
Ah.
yeah,
And it's
and
such
we
a
managed
cute
to.
cover. It like represents what this is, you know, and the kind of
Yes,
music is reflected in the cover. She's really did a good job. Please tell her I say
yes, I
thank
will
you
tell her.
for respecting
Yeah.
your work, her sister's work so much. Yo.
Yeah. So it's really a very personal, that it didn't come from a place where, oh, I want to publish an album. It didn't come from there at all.
Ah.
It came from a place of, I want to give my friends a part of me that they can give to their children. And you know, and my idea was something that children, that they could teach music to good music to children, but also something that adults can enjoy, so that it's something that the child can take with them, you know. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
And now you've shared a part of you with the whole world.
yes, but
That's
it
really
really is
special.
a part of my heart, you know. That is really it, that's it. It's a little bit of me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I must say it, listening to it, it inspired me. I mean, my mom has been on my case to make a piano album for, I think, as long as I can remember. And I haven't done it yet. And yes, I realized, you know, what has been blocking me from doing a lot of things, you know. My level of self-belief has been incredibly low and much lower than people imagined over the years.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
do see, I mean, when I listen to it, I thought, oh my goodness, this is beautiful. So it's 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 not whether it's jazz or classical or west country and western. It's not about the genre or the style. It's about how personal it is, how authentic,
Yeah.
how vulnerable you make yourself, you know.
Yes.
And I could
Yes.
feel you in that album. And also, I didn't
Thank
realize that you
you.
could play so beautifully. So that was also a nice surprise.
Thank you.
Uh,
Yeah, and it took much longer than I thought. And I must say, about halfway when I had about 5 tracks, I thought, I'm done now. Like at some point, I even said to Eric, I'm like, those 5 tracks were just some stroke of genius. It's never coming back again. I don't know how, because I don't know if you have the same thing when you're recording, but as long as I'm practicing and not recording, it's fine. And the moment I press record, it's like I get in my head. I'm like, okay, now I can't make mistakes. I can't make mistakes. And then I make mistakes.
Same. I'm the same. But I'm even the same, like if I play at church, if I make a
Yeah, it is
mistake,
a
I'm
little.
like, oh no. And I cover it up and nobody
Yeah,
heard the mistake. But for me, it was like the world just slightly
yes.
ended now. Um,
Yeah. And it's like it's all in here, that's like where you need to sort of get over it. And then I shared what I was doing with another friend, and I must say she became my #1 cheerleader. I would not have been able
oh,
to do it with her because she just kept encouraging me and then kept asking me, do you have a new track? And I would send her, my idea. And she's not musical at all. But she was just a wonderful support. Yeah,
that's
because I must say, halfway through, I also started thinking maybe this is such a silly idea. Like, I mean, babies don't know anything. I started really doubting the idea as well. Yeah.
we surprised how much babies know.
Subsequently, I've learned that, yes.
So I mean, like, it's amazing to listen to your experience of the evolution of this album. And I also believe, I love the fact that you had a friend that encouraged you, your husband encouraged you. I believe that so much of music reflects the kind of experience we have in the world. And if that experience that you reflect into the world is that you are supported and you are seen and you are valued and you are loved and cared for, I mean, isn't that a beautiful thing to put out there? Music
Yes.
is the channel, but it's got to channel some substance. You've got to have some life
Yes.
lived and some experience that you're putting out there. And I'm also very much always attracted to the fact that music, in its optimal state, involves other people. Even if you're doing a solo piano album, it involves other people. And that's how I have come to know you over the past few months. We've been involved in a project that has also been like sort of like, what, with coronavirus, and we're getting somewhere now as to when it's actually going to happen. I'm really looking forward to that. And this project that we've been working on also involves different people, like completely different people, completely different voices, completely different approaches to singing, and I love it. I love all
Yes.
the differences and the variation. And I just wanted to hear from you. What do you see with everything else in your life? What do you see as a musical future? Like, what do you have in the pipeline? What do you want to do?
I don't know. So, I also then for our online services, I was asked to do. I was specifically requested to do a specific song. I'll send it to you. I don't know if you've seen it.
I
Where
haven't.
I was playing
Please
the piano.
send.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. And it's that Jesus, something about that name.
Okay.
And recording. It's actually the last bonus track on my album.
Oh, you don't have to
Because
send it
then
to me.
I
I have
already.
it.
Yes, but I'm gonna send you where I'm actually singing along with it. But
Oh,
anyway, so it was easy to make the track, and then I had to record voice over it. So and to get that a good quality, and my sister and I have been wanting to record a voice album for the longest time, but we just haven't had the finances to do it. I mean, it's so expensive.
it
Studio
is.
time is so expensive. And when I was recording this, I mean, I literally used my iPhone's earphone microphone to record it. And
Yes.
my husband helped to produce it. And it actually came out okay. But I actually had to like stand with the microphone, and then when I get to the higher parts, like move
Pull it
my
away.
arm and move it away and so on. And then we realized, well, we actually have the software, we have the piano, we can actually do it. We just need a proper microphone. So then my husband started researching, and we were so fortunate to buy a studio digital microphone second hand for a
Awesome.
very good price. And so that's definitely our next project, is to now work on a voice album with my
Wow.
sister and I together. Yes, yes, yes. And now we've
Wow.
got the equipment, and we're busy soundproofing, and so trying to get a
Awesome.
small studio going at home. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
what's happening
yeah,
in the
just
world now.
yeah.
Mm.
I mean, you don't need that expensive studio time anymore. So, and I have enough people in my life that can assist, So, as you said, it's a project. They're always more involved than just one person. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm
So
just
I think that's
smiling.
that's stuck for the near future, and then
Mm.
I mean, I'll see. I take opportunities as they come, and yeah, performances as they come. I hardly ever say no to, if I'm invited to sing somewhere, I go, and
Yeah. Ah, that's
yeah.
awesome. I think it's wonderful that you are stepping out of the gotta make a CD, you know,
Yes,
era, because
yes,
we
yes,
past that now. And I mean, a lot of people
yes.
still want a CD, but it's really expensive to make. It's much more
Yeah.
expensive to make than to do a digital album, which reaches a wider audience, and even our
Yes,
churches are
yes.
starting to understand that, there is a pivot that is necessary, in the way we conduct church services. And
No, I wanted to say thank you for inviting me into your project, and I must say, the first day I went through, I was so nervous because I was thinking I'm going to be working with people I don't know, styles that maybe I don't know, and because I'm so classically trained, I do have a very particular style, and I've just felt so welcomed in by you and all the other ladies, and yeah, no, it's been a wonderful experience, yeah, to work with new people,
Awesome, awesome, and ditto. We've enjoyed
yeah. Thank
working with you too. So, yeah, that's all we have time for today. But I am incredibly grateful, and I'm grateful that everybody's gotten an opportunity to meet Madelyn. So, thanks so
you.
much.
Thank you.
We'll talk
Thank
again
you.
then, eh?
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Yes, we will. Thank you so much. All right. Bye.
Bye.